thought, why did we design and require such a van as this to be built or put together? Our key thing was user-friendly with safe use in lots of situations of where we would find ourselves being quite a bit off-road, into tracks, and certainly doing a lot of gravel work. So we needed tough, we needed comfort, and we need ease of use. The thing is not user-friendly if you've got to shift 3 things before you can use the thing you want to use. So we've started with the bedroom, simple, no projections in front of wardrobe, easy to make the bed instead of having to lean over, stretch. For mature people, we need to keep our 2 feet on the ground. So there's plenty of space, and yet it hasn't limited the use of hang-up wardrobe or shelving should you require. We've still got the nice deep drawer and used it that way. We've offset any loss of use of the small cupboard in front of the robes by placing 2 corner cupboards, one at the end of the kitchen bench, and then a full height unit behind the fridge. Talking of the fridge, the reason why we have the fridge where it is for the classic diamond kitchen design, which has been recognised by most kitchen designers as the golden triangle. It's your workbench, and by placing the sink with the drainer board towards the workbench, it extends that area. Then that was followed on behind that with the fridge. So that's the other point of the triangle. So we've got our sink, our bench top, and our fridge. So a person preparing meals doesn't have to walk past other people already sitting in the very comfortable lounge area. So it gives it that area. And the only area that you reach to is the stove. We really have to say the boys have done a fantastic job of this, because we've got the concealed lift up, which is nothing new. But what is just the 3 top gas unit with the ceramic infill for easy cleaning and automatic start. This is a big lift from our previous use, and then complemented with a combination microwave of the normal microwave, of course, and the steam use, but the flat bottom. And yes, it's a bit of a reach down, and you've got to be careful of the steam when you open the door for safety, but that's still a lot safer than having a microwave up above your head at ceiling height, which some people are still getting built. The kitchen in itself is simple. Have a door underneath the sink, which stores a lot of things, including the filter for the drinking water, and use of trays and the typical wash-up stuff of everyday life. Then, instead of having multiple banks of drawers, we've just got a simple stack, but by being wider, each one is much more easy to arrange. And then we have adjacent to that, is the pantry cupboard, which is a pull-out unit. With the benefit you can have the extended top, with or without. You'll notice the difference of this one is the width of the shelving within the pantry compared to most they use these days, which unfortunately tend to waste quite a bit of the width, whereas this one, the shelf takes up the full 300 width, making it a very useful and combined thing. Coming back to the fridge, we must say the newer design of Thetford with the pull-out drawer, it's been out for a little while now, but it's our first. And of course, being a pull-out drawer makes it so efficient for the cold and use. And then being that little bit larger size in the unit gives you one extra shelf within the fridge. And we find that a very, very useful and balanced thing for the size of the van. While we're still up at the fridge area, it might be noted that we have allocated in the length of the van quite a bit of what people might think of waste of space between the end of the bed and the beginning of the kitchen or the side of the fridge. And the reason for that is safety for getting out of bed and night calls and tripping over bedding, and that there's naturally the underbed storage, which contains a diesel heater, which is a first for us, which I'm sure we'll get a lot of use for in the colder areas. And of course the contained shoebox drawer, very useful there for the ladies' shoes. We then come up to the roof line. You may have picked up the use of the roof vent is the 4-season ones. We have used these in each of our vans to date and find them just so practical for not letting too much light in the morning, and you can control that light from which angle the sun's rising, but it leaves a very good permanent ventilation happening all the time in all sorts of weather. We park our van outside, so it's a good thing to let the van breathe. We have two of these, one above the bed and one in the living area. That's complemented with the air conditioner, the caravan, and of course the obligatory smoke alarm. The speakers have upgraded to the fusion units, which I'm sure will give us a nice soft mellow finish. In the kitchen back there we did extend and get a good length of bench cupboard. We just find that for everyday use, and also having twin overhead cupboard lights, as well as the lights that of course come with the exhaust fan unit. This gives us a very even light all the way along the bench for wherever you want to be working. Naturally, all the overhead cupboards are concealed catches. They're all sheeted in non-reflective satin finish to avoid the finger marks, as are the bench tops, all matte finish for easy clean. The fans, two in the bedroom, which are always the usual. We find the wall mounted to the sides much more beneficiary to actually spread the fan effect, but also with the third unit located on the side of the fridge to serve the sitting area. The extended area that was added into the kitchen to get the length of the van, the 21.6, we still allocated the seating space the same as what would be for a full club lounge, but converted this time back to the cafe together with the very large fold-out table, so that if you are in for wet weather or too hot outside, you have got a decent area that you can actually be doing things on. So we're looking forward to the use of that. The specific thing of the table, but we have a recess in the floor to locate the leg in, so there's no accidental slip of that, and you can really put some pressure and use on the weight on the table without any risk. In the sitting area, we've gone, as always, we use cloth instead of the vinyls or leather for the two reasons. One, it's cooler in the hot weather and warmer and more comfortable in the cold. We've never had a problem, regardless that we spend a lot of our travelling time up north, with the dust problem of discoloration. And while seating on the lounge there, these footrests are much better than some of the ones we had before, because these come up level with the seating and are much more comfortable and practical to use. Now behind the seat there we've got the secret cupboard, which is the map cupboard. It's taking use of what would normally be some wasted space there between that and the shower, because the shower has to be offset because we use the folding door in lieu of the typical sliding door, because most times we never close it. We still retain a sizable, comfortable shower behind that, even though the map unit has taken up some space. The ensuite area or bathroom, we've kept that simple. Instead of too many overhead cupboards in and out, we prefer to have more bench space, and by allocating that bench space to two lift-up flap, one to serve a top-load washing machine and the second one for the dirty clothes and cleaning gear, having the separate hatch there for your vacuum cleaner and all the cleaning thing, and then with the one central bank of drawers with a semi-recessed basin, thus not being too high to use, and provides a much cleaner line than the typical full height of a basin sitting above a bench height, which makes it quite high. Whilst there's the three drawers, they're quite wide drawers and very adequate for use. Toilet-wise, we've gone for the Ogo. Like most other people, they've been around for a while now. We're sure we'll find that much more flexible in outlying areas. Now, complementing the ensuite, of course, in our opinion, essential is the electric towel rail, not only for drying your towels, but for the undies and things that can be rinsed in the shower. It's just a practical method of getting it all dry, and the luxury of having a nice warm towel in a cold day. We have added the Wi-Fi, RV Wi-Fi. They've been good to deal with, following us through with things to get us on the road, and we've put the Dishy Dock in as well for the future other panels, which we haven't got yet. That I'm sure will add very well to us in the future use for our Starlink. The electrical side of things, we're covered with 600 amp of battery, together with 1,000 watt of solar, as well as the normal plug-in power there. It's going to take us a little getting used to screen use instead of physical switches. Whilst on the subject of power, we decided to go to Victron, not only for the van, but for our full power unit in our new vehicle. So both units match up. I decided this time to go for a draw setup, because when we're held up at different places, it's always at the back of the black stump that something goes wrong. And with people like Caravans, where we can just call up, makes things very practical, as well as people out there to service and work on the equipment and get us back on the road. We're running with a 3000 inverter, which of course is sufficient power to run all our units. Whilst we're out here, we turn from the power onto the ever-flowing water. Mature age people find it pretty hard climbing in underneath too far. So Wonder Roo have been very good at bringing this out closer to the surface. Eventually we'll have a closing door to cover these units. But at this stage, we've got them all set there because we've got 3 tanks, and we can use each and any one tank with the 2 pumps, one normally dedicated to the drinking and the other for general purpose. You'll notice that we have no external wall fills, long gone past ever using them in our last van and this van because of the simplicity of fast fill tanks. The idea of how Wonder Roo, as with some of the others now, putting the pumps, and we've got 2 pumps outside in that location, seems to be fairly safe for us. It's a bit quieter for inside. Generally, I think I can only see pluses for having them outside and having the 2, especially when you've got the 2 pumps there. You may notice there that we have gone for the full pipe protection. Anything that can help with the stones and rocks and sticks on the tracks that we travel has got to be a good, sensible thing. And I like the way they use the Flomax taps. They're easy to operate on the sullage water outlet too. On that, of the sullage there, having a bypass just makes sense. I think from getting all the rubbish that unfortunately we tend to wipe our dishes before washing and things like that, but there's still that food matter still tends to up and settle in the tank, and by having a bypass it just shoots straight through. Tyre wise, we've gone some good tyres, and of course the fantastic top of the line air suspension that Cruise Master provide, and I'm sure that's going to give us a nice smooth road over those lots of corrugations. We've gone for a different colour in the sense that we've gone for a classic look in our van, so it's non-dated, it's cool for in the hot areas, and there's only one thing we need to say on the outside, and that's Wonder Roo. That's there, simply supported with some striping, and that's all we need. The silver is an easy clean. We've had that on our existing van. We found this combination works very well for us and provides a timeless classic look. We're plain and simple. So we picked the red wheels because we tried to stay with the 2 colours of Wonder Roo, the blue and the red, but the blue didn't work into the tyres, we didn't think, as well. So we've gone for the red stripe in the charcoal width of the stripe, which picks up the red Roo, complemented the wheels with the red on the rims as well. And we just think that's just a nice little touch, putting a little bit of colour with things to look good. So we're very happy. Just been complemented with the charcoal colour large simple box at the front, which is partly allocated to the things that would normally, some of it be in the tunnel boot, because half of that has been used by the electrics, and so our chairs and all that sort of thing simply go into the front box, and we're very simple and easy to use. The little light you'll see above the diesel fuel tank is the anti-lock-up brakes that Cruise Master are doing, and we're sure that's going to provide a very good safety feature. We hope it's not used too often, but whilst we walk around on the outside, you might notice there's some distance between the offset of the toolbox at the front of 140mm. That's not only to contain the diesel tank, but it's to slide in our portable solar panels. So whilst we've got 1,000 up on top, we'll put another 400 in a slide out casement there behind the toolbox, and that just gives us better flexibility for shaded areas or chasing the sun. On the front hitch, a little bit different there. We've gone for the Lovell's full brake upgrade and GCM on the vehicle, and that comes with the Lovell's hitch, which I'm sure we'll get used to and prove to be a good flexible unit. Phone stomper. found them very effective and a good way of deflecting some of the stones, most of it there going by. About the gas bottles, we've got one large and one small. We've got a bit of gas. Our hot water we're running with gas. We love the Swift gas and electric, but when you're in camp, you can use the electric and the gas cooking for top as well as the barbecue. But we find that the one big bottle and having the small one as a spare is a good just backup. Coming around on the awning side, have retained our slide out barbecue area, which we've got from our previous van. We found this works very, very well for us to sit in the Weber, plugging that in, and then that provides everything there that we use for that, all our utensils, everything works excellent. So we've decided just to reuse it again. That's complemented, of course, with the picnic tables. We've always gone for this brand because I can't see the point of having locks to lock away a picnic table. These are very efficient now. They're new model in this, easy to close and just snap and do, and they have the light built into them as well. And it's surprising, while it's only a small light, when it's in a dark night you're sitting outside, often that's quite sufficient just to give you that bit of a glow without having headlights bearing at you. But on the subject of lights, I must compliment Wonder Roo, incredible on their external lighting. In my opinion, they've got the balance just right. Look at the big super light over the barbecue area with both the white and the amber. You might have picked up there was also one over the work area for the slide out Victron system pull out, which I think makes it just so practical to be just there. The other hatch on this side is of course the power, generally referred to as an entertainment hatch, but it's an all-encompassing thing, this, where our cruise master control system works for the air suspension. Our other thing that I didn't mention on the lighting outside is the sensible light that they've got on the step. Most step lights tend to glare in your eyes as you walk in, but this one is quite concealed and it does light up the step as you approach. So I think that's something we haven't had before, but I'm sure that's going to be a real plus. The other thing that we've got this time now on the door is both the midgie screen and as well as the normal security screen. That serves both things very, very well. And the blinds now being done that they don't flap about. I had to convert my last one to offset that problem, but this has all come with the little clip downs and works quite effectively. Around the back of the van, it's pretty traditional. There's just the simple Wonder Roo sign, but we do like to have the second set of tail lights. So if you like prefer up high, in traffic, when you do come into the towns, it does make it easy for cars 2 or 3 back can get an idea what's happening up ahead, getting some warning to people behind that what you're doing has got to be a step forward in the right direction. And the famous Safety Dave twin cameras is always just so reliable with the tyre pressure, which of course we've got that on the van as well as the tow truck. They're just great. Coming back towards the front, we've got a secondary tap just there, which is pretty handy for the barbecue use, and also naturally the gas bayonet for the Weber. We've got an extra water outlet as well as the A-frame tap, which can be pretty awkward for us because we're using a stone stomper to climb in. Coming back round to the offside, we've got extra power 240 outlet to be used on this side of the van, as well as underneath, naturally, we've got a solar input there ready for the portable solar panels, and the 12-volt point for plugging in the car fridge. We do have an outdoor shower. For us, it's just handy sometimes for when you're in with dirt and just wash some of that red dust off and that before we get inside. We did ask for some awning strip to go on so that we can do some slide-ins, especially around the fridge area. And Wonder Roo have run it the full length of the van. We were only expecting a smaller area, but having it full length means you can still have a couple of smaller ones and just slide them up and down according to the thing. So thanks to the guys for that, because it does give us flexibility without carrying one great big long awning, because they're pretty hard and heavy to hold up in one piece. We spoke earlier about the light above the electrical pull out, but we do have a side light up here as well towards the back of the van with the amber of course and white. But it's just a good area if you're coming in a bit late and you're trying to get your hoses and things and silage out of the way if that's needed. Just gives you that general light to walk around the van. You don't plan to set up in the dark, but sometimes most of you have been caught the same way. You've come in a bit late.
If anyone's got some questions. I'm happy to answer them. You're more than welcome to give us a call. My phone number is 0466 935 487. We'd love you to come to the factory, see how we differ from a lot of other manufacturers. Yeah. Jump on our Facebook group, speak to our customers and see what we're all about. Come and see us.